Hey everyone, so sorry about the delay. Apparently live in 5 means live in 20. So I'm online right now, and I really want to talk about websites and branding and design and how we used to go about branding and design and how we made a switch last year in 2017 and how we're coming or approaching branding and design in a whole new way now. Some super exciting changes happening at Felicity and Design that have been happening in the last few months, and I want to give you all a sneak peek into the behind the scenes of all of that and kind of what you can expect if you work with us moving forward. And we're going to do some free website audits, so looking at a couple of websites that we did not create, just to see where you can make some quick changes or some improvements, really easy things to do that won't take you a lot of time, but that will up your brand immediately. So we're just gonna start with, I'm gonna start right at the beginning and say what we used to do and what we're doing now with branding and design. So in 2016, my approach to branding and design was all about what do you, as the entrepreneur, like? What colors do you like? What images do you resonate with? What messaging connects with you? So it was all about what you like and what you want in your brand. In fact, in some of my posts, I even said, forget about who your ideal client is. Just ignore them. You don't need to worry about who your ideal client is. Sure, look at the target client later on, but really you just need to focus on you, yourself, just what you like. Well, I'm very transparent, and I've come to the realization that that is the wrong way to go about branding and design. It can work, but it's not going to be very effective. So in the end of 2017, our team started looking a little bit closer at your target client, like what would they want, what would they resonate with, what colors do they like, except I kind of took it too far and started to ignore yourself, you as the entrepreneur. So people that know me might know that I'm very extreme, very black and white. I think in terms of, this way or this way. There has to be one way or the other way. It can't be both or in the middle. And I'm in the process of learning to look at things from a different perspective. And I'm definitely not effective. So the way we look at branding and design now is coming at it from both what you like as the entrepreneur and who you are and what makes you naturally fascinating and just, what makes you you, but then also looking at who your target client is and getting really specific on who that person is. A lot of people will answer the question when looking at their target audience very generically or very generally in a large span of people. So like female, 25 to 60 or even 25 to 50, entrepreneurs that are online, sometimes they're moms, like it's very generic. It could mean a lot of people. What we challenge you to do when you work with us on your branding is we challenge you to look at one specific person. And now it's an imaginary person, most likely. It's going to be a combination of characteristics of different people you've worked with in the past or characteristics you want to work with that you've never worked with yet, but you know that they're going to be more in alignment with you. We ask you to get really, really detailed. So, name them, give them a name. Think about how old they are. Are they 22 or are they like 37? Are they female or male? Are they, non-gendered, non-binary? Are they married or are they single? Or they have kids? Do they live in, Kansas or do they live in Alberta? Like there's a lot of different characteristics, and all of these elements, once you get that clarity in your mind about who this person is and be very super specific on it, you can get in their mind much more easily. You can get into thinking about what would they like, what attracts them to different businesses, what are their struggles, what is their business, what are they struggling with in their business, and how can you help them, and where is it going to change their business moving forward in a year from now. And once you have that person in your mind, we look at who they are and what resonates with them. And now here's the part where, in my opinion, is kind of the biggest change, is we overlap the two. So where you are and where your ideal client is, where they overlap, that is where your brand comes from. That is where you can see, we can as designers, we can pull out those colors that would resonate with your client, but also colors that you love, or the voice, the messages that you share, the ones that your target client needs to hear, but also that are authentic to you and what you do and how you serve. So it's this overlap. Does anyone know if there's a way to screen share on Facebook Live? Let me know in the comments if there's a way to screen share, because I've got some really cool things I want to show you guys, but I just realized I don't know how to screen share on Facebook Live. So we're going to do it a little bit of a different way. I have my iPad here. I'm going to attempt to pull something up on my iPad, and then it'll be super informal. I'm going to show you something on my iPad. I'm going to turn it to the video in just a second. So I posted this graphic yesterday and the day before. I posted it twice because I think it really gives a super example, a clear example. So I'll just show it. So it gives that clear example of, like, you know, we want to pay attention to who you are and what makes you interesting and fascinating, and then also who your client is, and that overlap. That's where your brand starts from. Okay, so I've actually wanted to share some other things with you guys, but again, I don't know how to screen share. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the comments. So what we're doing now is we're really creating more of a collaborative process with our clients. We're inviting them into Asana, our project management tool, to really work on this brand foundation deeper and more elaborate, more detailed, and right from the beginning, because it's the brand foundation that's going to, you know, build your brand and your website and all of the visuals that come with it. We also have started to give people a client portal access. So I'm going to put something in the comments. This is a link to our client portal. This is a template, a test client portal, just to show you what that client portal looks like when you work with our team. And it's really there for you as a client to easily access all the things that you need to be able to access, from our Pinterest board that we need to collaborate with, to how we format content and how we accept content. One sec, guys. I'm talking a lot and I'm really thirsty. Okay. So yeah, take a look at that client portal. I'm going to share some two of the links that I really love. You'll see under the phase 2, which is called Discovery. And there are 2 points I want to point out: Brand Archetype Quiz and Brand Fascination Quiz. So in this transition of learning how to approach branding in a different way that is more effective and is still authentic but connects with your ideal client, I found, also working with Christine Thatcher, is another designer that I really respect and love to work with. There are 2 quizzes that we ask you to take as our client. I'm going to put both of them in the links in the comments box, just so you can take a look at them and even take them for yourself. This is number 1 way of figuring out how your brand can be more effective. So the first one is with Kay. Her name is Kay, and she has a brand archetype quiz. And what she delivers at the end of that quiz is your top 4 brand archetypes. So archetypes are, the simplest way to think of archetypes would be if you imagine 12 different personalities or types of people, 12 different, let's say, boxes. So there are different ones called like the Royal, which looks at lots of, really wants that high-end vibe. There's the Guy Next Door, the Girl Next Door, which is more like IKEA, for example, that's very accessible. Then there's like the Creator, who's very artistic and loves bright colors. And so there's 12 different main personality types, and there's really 60 if you look a little bit deeper. And Kay's quiz gives you the top 4 that you have as part of your personality, because no one's just one type of person or one type of personality. We're all a mix of different things. So Felicity and Design, as a company, we are a mix of the Royal, the Creator, the Girl Next Door, and the Maverick. That's right, because we like to push boundaries. We like to make people think in a different way about things. So we are those 4 different personality types. So again, Creator, the Royal, Maverick, and the Girl Next Door. So we like to be honest and upfront. We like to be innovative and creative. We like we're into detail and making sure things are high quality, and we like to push boundaries and think differently about how we do things. So those are our different 4 types of personalities. And that is what we found out from taking Kay's quiz, the brand quiz, which I put in the comments. Now, the second quiz that we have all of our clients do moving forward is a fascination profile. I've just linked the fascination profile in the comments. And this profile, her name is Sally Hogshead. She talks about how the world sees you. So a lot of business owners will think about how they perceive the world, but the fascination profile is all about how you are perceived by the world, how the world sees you. And there are 2 different personality tests. There's one for the individual, and there's one for the business or your brand. Me personally, I am the top 2 personalities of the brand fascination profile are power, so I like to lead, and then alert, which is that I like to have high attention to detail. And the fascination profile gets even deeper into how those 2 work together and what that means for you as a person and how you interact with people. And then the brand fascination profile, which is what I've linked here in the comments, looks at your brand as a whole, not you as the individual, but you as the brand. So it might be very similar if you are a solo designer or a solo entrepreneur, but it might be a little bit different than you as an individual if you have a team. So the Felicity and Design brand fascination profile results were that we are the innovator. And so you can see how the innovator relates very much to the creator of Kay's brand archetype quiz. So they're very similar, but they give just a little bit of different detail about how you approach the world and then how the world sees you. So those are the 2 kind of quizzes we love to share with our new clients coming on board. And that would be number 1 way I would say to up your brand right away is take those quizzes and get a little bit more information about who you are. Then once you've figured out who you are and how the world sees you, do the same thing for your ideal client. Think about your ideal client and get to be so specific about who they are that you can imagine them in your mind. Then I want you to take that brand archetype quiz, the one from Kay, take it again as your ideal client. Answer the questions like you think they would. By doing this, you can see the result, and first of all, it can either confirm that you're super clear and that you know exactly who your ideal client is because you got the result you expected to get, or it can show you that you need a bit more clarity. If you're not sure how this person would answer those questions, dig deeper until you know how the person would answer those questions. So you've got your brand archetypes and you've got your ideal client's brand archetype. Where they overlap is where you want to build your brand. So for example, Felicity and Design has gone through some branding transitions in the last few years. We went through name transitions to color palette transitions. Our old logo was very bright and bold, had like 6 different colors right in the logo. It was very energetic. And our new branding is simple, classic, one color in the logo. It's just navy blue. It is very, very different. If you look at them side by side, they're very different. And I always wondered, it's like I knew intuitively what I liked about each of them, but I always wondered, like, why do I like 2 such different logos and 2 such different brands? Because for me, neither of them felt inauthentic. It was not that I was trying to create a logo that I didn't like just for somebody else. Both of those logos, our old branding and our new branding, felt really good to me. I loved both of them, and I always wondered why that was. And in looking at branding in this new way and taking the brand archetype quiz from Kay and learning that we are the girl next door, the maverick, the royal, and the creator, we are not just one thing. We are multiple things. So the creator who loves, bright colors and innovation and change, that was our old brand. That was our very colorful brand. And our new brand is more of the royal, very classic and high-end and more detailed and very, it's just designed in a different way. And so it makes sense now that I know that we're 4 different personality types, it makes sense that we liked different things. The difference was the type of clients that we attracted with our old branding versus the type of clients that we're attracting with our new branding. They're 2 different types of clients. And the reason is because different clients would interact and resonate with our creator brand, our colorful brand, and now different clients are reacting and resonating with our royal brand or the more classic vibe. So you have to look not just at who you are and what your brand archetypes are, you need to look at who your ideal client is. And where they overlap is where your brand can start to develop. So for example, we wanted to attract more of the high-end client, more of the high-end vibe, much more of the creative, I don't mean bright, colorful creative, but much more detail-oriented design. And in order to do that, we needed to change from our creator brand to our royal brand. It just means looking at the colors differently, looking at the fonts differently. And again, we loved both of the brands. It was just because we wanted to attract a different target client that we changed the branding. They're both authentic to us. We loved both of them. It was who we wanted to target that made the decision to change that brand to us from where we were to where we are now. Does anyone have any questions about that, about how branding works and how you need to really look at yourself and your target client and see where they overlap? Any questions about that? If you've got them, put them in the comments and I will answer them either now or after the video. So when you have figured out your branding, you figured out who you are and who your ideal client is, and you see where they overlap, you can start to really figure out what words will resonate with your ideal client, whether it's more of very long descriptive language or if it's very quick and short and quirky. You might have both of those personalities in you. You might be short and quick sometimes, and you might be very lengthy and detailed in other explanations, but it's who your target client is and what they resonate with that you want to focus on. So all of those pieces, the message that you share, the vibe that you have, the feeling you want them to feel, the voice that you use, the colors that you use, all those pieces are what you're going to get out from knowing where that overlap is. Cheryl, swirling with ideas, excited for possibilities of greater brand connection. Yes, it's all about that, what's going to connect with your ideal client. And so Christine Thatcher is a designer I mentioned earlier in the video who I respect her greatly. I would even call her my mentor. I don't know if she considers me her mentoree, but I love to work with her. And she works with a copywriter and a content strategist. Her name is Michelle. And Michelle told me this thing that really gave me a light bulb moment. when you look at your branding, you don't want to look at who you are alone and just what you like. You also don't want to mimic what your client likes. You don't want to become that creepy stalker who only mimics what they, you think that they want to hear. She gave the example of if you're going on a blind date and you're sitting across from someone who's literally mimicking everything that you say and all of your gestures and positions of your arms and your face. If they're mimicking you, that's creepy. You don't want to mimic your ideal client and just say what you think they want you to say. You want to learn what makes you innately fascinating and showcase that fascination even more so that they can really fall in love with you and your brand and figure out what connects with them. So it's that connection and the overlap that creates that connection to your ideal client. Okay. I don't know if anyone else has popped on that knows the answer to this, but I'm looking to figure out if there's any way to screen share when you're doing a Facebook Live. If anybody knows, let me know. What I also wanted to show you, I wanted to show a few different things, but what I'm going to do, I wanted to show you guys a sneak peek into our Asana template project. We go really deep and really detailed into every step that we look at, from brand strategy to wireframes and content development and brand design and all of that. Here's what I want to show you. I'm going to send in the comment section. Oh, I don't know if I can put pictures. Let me just see. Just one sec, Haley. My kids just got home. Do you guys want to come see on the video?
I have a question.
Okay, just ask me after, but you can come say hi. I'm doing a video.
For who?
For everybody on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
Okay, I'm going to go finish my video. Can you guys go back upstairs? 10 minutes. Okay?
And then I have a question.
Sure. 10
and
minutes.
It'll be
please.
an easy, quick yes or no right away.
What's
10
happening?
minutes, okay? All right. Say bye-bye.
That was in the Facebook video.
Yep. Sorry, guys. Okay. I cannot share photos yet, but after this video is over, I'm going to put in the comments 7 different projects that we designed first and then we developed. And that's something new in our process as well, is we used to just jump right into WordPress and create the website right off the bat. What we've done now is, once we've looked at the brand strategy and the color palette and the voice and all of that and where that connects with our client's ideal client, we have been designing first, designing in Photoshop, and then developing it and creating it on WordPress. And the reason that we do that is because it releases us from the strains of how to make a design work. So our designers and myself and Michelle, my project manager, or excuse me, my creative director and business partner, she and we design in Photoshop without the worrying about how it's going to work, how it's going to actually happen. And by doing that, we focus on the goals of the client's website, their content, and how we want the user experience to flow. User experience is really, really huge in websites. You want to guide the user through the website. You don't want them to land on your site and just not know where to go next. You want to guide them through. You want it to be emotionally and visually captivating and exciting for them to want to keep scrolling, because if they don't want to keep scrolling and they leave your page, you've lost them. So I'm going to show you, again, I'll do this after the video is done, and I'll put in the comments 7 images to show you the design and then the build, and so how they kind of compare side by side. Because I think a lot of people, a lot of clients who work with designers might not know whether or not they should design first and then build, or just build right off the bat. And the difference that it can look like from the design to the build, because it's not pixel perfect, it's not pixel for pixel, but it's very, very close. And what I loved about that change in moving into design first is we're really looking at, again, what is the user experience going to be, and how is the user going to move through the site? So I'll share those images with you guys in the comments after the video is done. All right, let me see. I wanted to do 2 live audits of websites that we had not created, but that people had submitted. If you want me to do a website audit for you, put your link in the comments. It looks like I can't screen share. So what I'm going to do, again, after this video, is I'm going to do a recording of that audit. I'm going to post a link right in the comments here, so you should see that within the next half hour. Again, if you want an audit of your website, just put your link in the comments. And if you have any questions about our branding process or the changes we've made or why we made those changes, or if you want to see anything a bit more detailed, just let me know. Put them in the comments, put your questions in the comments. Happy to answer. I am all about showing how we do things because I've figured out this, and this might be very intuitive for a lot of people or a lot of other designers, but I think the visual representation of, you know, who you are and who your ideal client is and where they overlap, that is the simplest way I can think of to explain how do you develop a brand, because a brand can be super, you can be so confused as to where to start. So first look at who you are and then your ideal client. Use those quizzes I linked in the comments to get some more detail. Learn who your ideal client is so specifically that you can answer those questions as though you were them and see if you get the result that you expected. So put the comments in the comment box if you have questions, or if you did those quizzes and what your results were. I'd love to see. And then what I want to share with you guys for the last couple minutes is if you want to dig deeper into your brand, or you want a brand refresh, or you feel like you don't connect with your ideal client, let me know. I'm going to put my calendar link in the comments. If anyone wants to hop on a quick call for like 20 or 30 minutes just to chat about your website, your brand, and possibly working together, let me know. I'm going to offer 30% off for any of those proposals that I create from you guys who have either watched live or who have watched the replay later. No obligation, 30-minute call. There's no, like, once you go on a call with me, you're stuck. Nothing like that. I want to make sure it's a good fit for both of us. So if you're interested, I'm going to put my calendar link in. All right, it's going to go in the comments right now. So if you're interested, book a call with me, quick 30 minutes, no obligation. And anyone that does want a project proposal, I'm going to offer 30% off for any of you guys, anyone who's watching live or the replay later on. Okay, so I hope that was informative. I hope that was helpful. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to pop off in about 10 seconds, and I'm going to put in the comments the design versus development screenshots, and I'm also going to record those audit videos. So Ian and Cheryl, if you guys want to hang around for a bit, and I will put those links in the comments, and I will tag you there. All right, guys, have a great afternoon. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Bye-bye.